Hello, here I am. Today is going to be a basic roast dinner. Now, what does the roast dinner entail? Is it just roasting alone? No, it's not about roasting a joint. So get it straight. It's roasting a roast dinner. So there's going to be some elements of roasting, but there's going to be other elements. Like there's going to be boiling. We're going to boil some cabbage and some leeks. Right now, cabbage grows above the ground. It's a leaf vegetable. Leek, although it is a bulb, we use the stem, and because it's above the ground, it's treated like a leaf. So you're going to place that into hot or boiling salted water. That will cover boiling. Then we are going to roast potatoes, which is a tuber. Then we're going to roast carrot, which is root veg. I haven't got any turnips or any swede or any parsnips. So I'm making do with what I've got. And we're going to roast some drumsticks. So we're not roasting a whole chicken, but because we're going to create a roast meal, it's going to have elements of roasting in it alongside the boiling method. So first of all, I am going to show you, because there's so much cutting and chopping involved, I just want to go through getting my tool ready, which is going to be my knife here. Right, this is the knife I'm going to use. It's a domestic knife. I'm at home, so here we go. I'm going to sharpen my knife. So I'm going to, I think it's 45-degree angle, it's an angle. I'm no mathematician. Anyway, here we go. An angle, I think it's 45-degree angle. Let's call it 45-degree angle. And we're going to go from the heel to the tip. So we're going to stroke in like that. Then we're going to turn it the other way and go from the heel to the tip. And when I do that, I'm just doing that. I just want my knife to be sharp, because I've got to chop some vegetables and maybe even score some chicken. Now, the chicken that I'm going to use is drumsticks. It is already seasoned already. Now, because it's drumsticks, but even if it's a whole chicken, I would season it for at least an hour before roasting. That way the seasoning, it marinates and gets into the chicken, and the flavour is not just on the outside only, but it's in the chicken. Well, this chicken was seasoned overnight, and I'm going to make some stuffing balls as well. So what I've done, I've chopped up some garlic and some onion, a little bit of ginger, if you want to know the recipe, and salt and pepper, and I've mixed it into the chicken like that. Then what I'm going to do, woo, good smell. It's got a little bit of fresh thyme in there. Yes, today is the day I can celebrate. I'm actually using fresh herbs. So, ooh, delicious smell. Right, what I'm going to do, I'm going to scrape off the marinade. Then I'm going to, the elements of frying, because I'm going to saute the chopped vegetables, and then I'm going to add it to some breadcrumbs and turn it into stuffing balls. Yeah? So I'm going to, first of all, I'm just going to get the potatoes ready. Right, so here's the potato. I'm going to peel it with this wonderful peeler. I don't even know where it came from. Maybe the pound shop. I don't know. But here we go. So it seems to be working. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. Anyway, here we go. Right. Why am I using a veg peeler to peel potatoes and not a knife? because it's still part of your knife skill to be able, because you're going to have your own knives. Well, hopefully you've got your knives or some knives that you can use, and if you've got a peeler, it will enable you to continue to practice your knife skills. If I was to use a knife, maybe I'd get it not as thin as this, but I'd get a lot thinner than you. And what we do in the industry is we try to reserve the amount of wastage that we make when we're cooking and prepare, or even preparing to cook. So we're looking at minimizing wastage and maximizing food that is edible. Okay, so that's a potato. Yeah. Here we go. Potatoes are ready. So what I'm going to do is get the carrot. And I'm going to just, it's only a small carrot, it's just nothing of nothing. I'm going to cut it like that, and that will be the carrot. So one little carrot. It is roasting, so there will be some oil involved. I'm just going to cut the potatoes so that they're a fair size, like that. And you can see that the knife is just sliding through it because the knife is nice and sharp. So keep it. Now I know that the carrots are cut smaller than the potatoes, so there's a two thing here where should I put the carrots in now, or should I put the carrots in later when the potatoes are halfway through? I think I'm going to put them in when they're halfway through, because the carrots will, because it's got a lot of sugar in the carrots as well, the carrots will burn and the potatoes will be half cooked. We don't want that. We want even cooking. So a little bit of oil. And at this stage, some people, they season their potatoes salt and pepper. I don't always season my potatoes because the seasoning, the salt and the pepper, is going to be in the gravy. And what I don't want is a salty roast dish. So my potatoes are going into the oven. Like that. In the oven. Right. Here we go. I'm going to prepare the chicken now. Right. Here's my chicken. I've taken off all the seasoning and I've scored it like that. And I've placed it in the dish, and I'm going to stick it into the oven. There's enough oil in the chicken skin for it to roast without any oil. But the difference between baking and roasting is when you're roasting, you add oil to the dish. So what's the difference between baked potatoes and roast potatoes? Baked potatoes is potatoes. Well, it's baked in the skin, but it hasn't got any oil. Roast potatoes, normally peeled and roasted in oil or a type of fat. It could be goose fat, it could be margarine, it could be butter. Yeah. So that is it. That's happening. Into the oven. So I want to make some stuffing balls, and I want to leave a little bit of the chopped up vegetables, just a slight amount, for the gravy. Yeah? Okay, so that is my next thing to do. Fry off the vegetables for the stuffing balls. Right, so I've got some boiling water. I've fried off the chopped vegetables, onion, garlic, ginger, and I'll mix it in with some breadcrumbs, like Paxo type thing, like that. So I'll mix that in. Now I'm going to add a bit of boiling water to it. Mix it in until it absorbs the water. And then hopefully, once the water's absorbed, it then becomes a bit more firm. And then I'll turn that into stuffing balls. I'll keep mixing it. If I put too much water in there, I didn't measure the water, and I didn't measure the breadcrumbs. The best way to do it is put a little bit of water in at a time until it all absorbs. Now it's going to be a bit hot at the moment, but as you can see at the moment, so once that cools down, I'm going to roll it into stuffing balls, and that will go into the oven to roast off with the potatoes. Yeah, I'm going to let that cool down, and then I'm going to turn it into stuffing balls. Yeah, cool. Yeah, so I cut it into squares, and I portion it up, and then I just roll it like that into stuffing balls. Then I'm going to add that to the potatoes and roast it off with the potatoes and the carrots. Yeah. Right, I'm going to prepare the leek and the cabbage. Now I'm going to wash the leek, get cold water, and with leek, like I said before, the way to prepare leek is you cut it down like this. So from the root to the tip, all the way along, and cut it in half, like that. And then you turn it over and do the same thing again. So it's kind of like a fan. And then you put it under the coal tap again, because sometimes there is grit and dirt in between the leaves. And you just rinse it out. Then I'm just going to get rid of the little end like that. Don't need that. Throw that away. I don't really need that. I could put it in the gravy, but nah. Right. Then I'm going to cut it into sort of dices. Right, now because the leek is going to be in sort of dices, I'm going to put the cabbage in this, give the cabbage the same cut. So I've got a bit of cabbage here, just quarter cabbage on the root. Get rid of the outer leaf, don't really need it. Cut away the core, like that, don't need it. And then I'm going to flatten it like that, cut it like that, and so it's the same kind of cut. It will be like kind of like squares, like dices. So then I'm going to place it into the boiling water. The water's boiling salted water, not cold water and bring to the boil. No, the water must be boiling and salted. And then I add my vegetables. Now they take about 5 minutes. So this is what you would do when the potatoes are roasted and the chicken is cooked. This is the last exercise you would do before making your gravy. Right. Vegetables are cooking. finally, I'm going to make my gravy. Got a little bit of vegetables in the frying pan. I'm going to swill it out with a little bit of white wine, but you don't have to do that. Normally, when we do a roast dinner, the juices that are in the pan where the meat was roasted, we use that and we pour it into a pan and we swill it out with swill out the sediment with stock or wine or something, and add it to a pan for flavour. But today is a basic roast dinner, so I'm going to use gravy granules all the way. I'm going to use a little bit of tomato puree, and I say a little bit, just to give it a little bit of character. I'm going to swill out the pan with white wine and reduce it till the white wine is almost gone. So I'm going to reduce that white wine, and then I'm going to use warm water. I've got some boiled water already. You might as well use it. Yeah. So some boiled water there. So this is a reduction sauce here, because you're reducing the white wine. And then I'm going to add, in this case, just gravy granules and water. I could use stock, a bit of corn flour to thicken it, but this is just basic. So here we go, stirring away. Once I am satisfied with my reduction, a bit more, I want the liquid in the pan to almost evaporate or almost disappear. Some lovely flavour, some garlic and ginger, bit of onion, fresh thyme. It should be a lovely gravy to accompany the roast dinner. Yeah. Now, remember, always measure. Do not guess. So if I put a tablespoon of granules in here, and then start to pour the water, it's about, say, 300 grams in the cup. So about 150, about 200 grams at first. And I'm stirring it. And then as it thickens, I either add more water, or it reaches a consistency where I don't have to do anything to it. Clearing my throat. I want it to be a little bit thicker than this. So I'm going to add a little bit more water. So it's a tablespoon of granules to about 300 millilitres of water, and this will make 4 portions, gravy for 4 portions. You can always add more water and more granules if you want to. about 4 portions, which is it's 2 drumsticks per person, so that's 4 dinners. Yeah. Okay. Once everything is all cooked, I'll plate it up and yeah, show you what it's all about. Lovely. Roast potatoes are done. Stuffing balls are done. Carrots are done. Lovely, lovely. Well, now it's time to present the roast dinner. So, vegetables have been boiled. Stuffing balls. Roast potatoes. Can you see so far? Then I'm going to put my little carrots for colour. There. I didn't cook too many carrots, so I only had one. Then I'm going to the chicken. As you know, it's got to be 75 in the middle if you've got a probe. If you haven't, you cook it until the juices they run clear. There should be no blood. So gravy, a nice consistency. You can strain the gravy if you want to, but I'm having the bits in there. Over the chicken and over the vegetables. One roast dinner. Bon appetit. Yeah.